Alright. Yes. Join me with the Screams of the Damned, because I forgot this is where I saved last time. Yeah. Hey, Dupless. I think that... That's weird. It should have actually... Let me check the logs real quick. It should have given you an error just now. But it didn't. And that's not good. Yeah, it's a key error. Fuck. I'm gonna have to check that again. Yeah, so it should have told you that it is case sensitive, yeah. But it should tell you that it is case sensitive instead of just not telling you anything. I literally just put that particular fix in yesterday. Maybe I didn't pull it? One moment. Let me do a quick git pull. Aha! Yes. I did not pull it. Come on, come here. I'm sorry, no module named TwitchBot? What? Oh, poo. I may have just broken my bot. I don't think that I committed something. PyCharm, where are you? I moved the bots into their own module. And yeah, okay. I did not commit that. There we go. The nice thing about the new system, or the new bot, is that I can actually stop it, pull a change, and then restart it, and it'll still have the votes that you did, so you don't have to vote again. Is there a particular reason that you're trying to get Evoland up? I think that you're also better off going for, or trying to create more shields at this point too. Anyway, welcome back.
More inviting whirlpools in my day.
You've already seen Horizon CD. But have you seen an ultra-hard New Game Plus version of Horizon CD? Which is primarily story. Very selfish reasoning.
You have my attention.
I only play Horizon Zero Dawn on Ultra because that was how I played it the first time, and that's how I find the game fun.
Captain?
Oops. But yeah. Right now we're kind of getting to the point where we are really close to seeing Overheat just start shutting down entirely. Like the amount of logs that it's pulling in is really low, and because of that, it's going really fast. Oh shit! I hate it when this happens. Which is why you see it happening every minute right now. The amount of, or the distance between attacks is what determines.
Your story ends here.
Or sorry, the distance between attacks is determined by how much damage it does. If it doesn't do damage, then it tries again pretty frequently. So how are you doing, Dupless?
Yeah.
Did you have a good break? I finished off the thing that I made yesterday, which was admittedly delicious. That was a really good one.
We have to go. Can't.
Okay, I want to try and save this guy this time.
No, please.
And I encourage you to be selfish when voting.
Help.
Damn it.
Speak your mind. For Mother Ngati. What say?
Ra?
No need to ask twice.
Ra. Okay. Wait, the bird is going first? Bird is going first, apparently. This weekend was not as productive as you'd have liked, and it's starting to worry you, but that's something you can work on. Well, as long as you have a way of improving past it, that is indeed something. Oh, it's already almost dead.
Yeah?
Eder didn't even get a turn.
Don't see why not.
What did you find, Ishi?
F5? Okay, we quick saved. We don't have to do that again. This is going to be a really long boss fight.
Yes, Captain.
Because that thing over there is tanky as balls.
Watch me, Mother! Second try, I say.
Happy to oblige.
I mean, Eder is also tanky as balls, so it doesn't matter too much, but I would like to be less tanky and have less balls. That didn't come out right.
What do you need?
Yeah, Eder, just go over there. It doesn't move very quickly either, thankfully.
You were saying?
It has a really nasty ability to siphon souls, which it uses to heal itself. And it also just does a ton of damage.
May I be a candle in the night.
So Eder's gonna be over here and kind of whack it. Ishi, no.
At your service.
Okay. Can you heal? First of all, we're gonna go ahead and put this there.
Luthen!
Happy to oblige.
I think that next year I'm probably going to make Overheat take less shields to finally bring down. I am not going to do it this year because right now we are within the threshold that I would change it to.
Got it. You were saying?
But when it gets to this point, no one's around trying to actually stop it
What can I do you
because
for?
it's already ruined too much. Just too much damage has been dealt. Ooh, I don't like that. I really don't like that. Stop that.
You need something.
Okay. Okay. Dancing Bolts obviously doesn't work. Andra's Whip we just cast. Chill Fog? Ishii could probably use a bit of a heal.
Speak freely.
Mark for the hunt, wounding shot.
I've got this, Captain.
Hey.
Hey there? Can you go whack that?
Can't make a dent.
Okay.
You have my attention. Ixiana!
Yeah.
Heal the bird.
Mo Ixiana.
Bird healed. Fantastic. So Dupless, what sort of games do you tend to play? I met you on God damn it, I don't even remember what game I met you in. The C++. I met you on C++, but you didn't seem to take too much interest in that game after I initially played it. What's your jam?
I'm listening. I've got this, Captain.
Yeah?
Hey! On your butt, you giant thing. Yeah, good luck, buddy. What is it that we're... It's a Shiza. That's 22 damage. That's good. Good hit.
What say?
You want to transform into shark? And be as shark?
Feed the land.
Yeah? Take him down.
Happy to oblige.
Jesus, the shark form is ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
Mo I'm listening. For the homeland.
Since that doesn't have a duration, and this is going to be a very long fight.
Yeah?
Go ahead and switch to single target.
This thing isn't doing the job.
It's doing a good enough job. I'm a little scared of it hitting the bird. Is the bird? Okay, the bird is not currently engaged.
What say?
Can you hit that?
For my captain!
You can hit that. Fantastic.
Happy to oblige. Moe, Ixie, Alna.
Yeah?
You were saying? For the Ronganui.
Yeah?
Eh, good enough. It's almost dead.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Knocked it out of range. Alright, cool. So that's dead
You
now.
need something. Your bones
Get back
will
there and
feed
start
the
attacking.
land.
We need that damage.
Huh? Take him down.
You were saying?
Alright, this is gonna
For the
take a while.
homeland.
What do you need?
Go ahead and dissolve to there. So that you're knocking them in and flanking.
What say? Your story ends here.
Yeah?
Yeah? Let's go.
You were saying?
It just did something. I don't like that. I don't like that it did something.
At your service. Your bones will feed the land.
Huh? Take him down. Damn.
Oh, game paused.
Speak freely.
What do you need? May I be a candle in the night.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those fights where I really wish that we had
At your service.
the ability to switch it on and off.
Yeah?
Okay, now it's bloodied,
Captain.
so it'll take the extra damage. And we can use an empowered shot to...
Need something stronger.
bully the poor soul collector. Alright. It's Ashiza's turn. Wow, that was a
At your
24.
service. I have lost too much water.
He'll be fine. Yeah, see, he'll be fine.
What can I do you for?
Now, what you can do me for is do that.
Lava would be on sync.
And miss. Great. Phenomenal. I love it.
Captain?
Yeah?
Yes, attack the tentacle.
At your service.
We can always summon another tentacle. I don't remember if this thing...
Happy to oblige. Get threshed.
Captain.
Yeah? Missed.
All right. Slap that boy.
What say?
That was 30 damage.
Get threshed.
Let's go.
Your orders?
Dude, you don't happen to have anything to hit this harder, right? I don't personally like that.
You
That the
need
tentacle
something.
just disappeared.
Luthen.
Uh-huh.
What can I do you for? I like the darkness.
Take him down.
I'm listening.
Almost. There we go. Jesus, that bird does a lot of damage. Oh, that was Adair.
What do you need?
Will do.
Okay, cool. I'm going to F5 after that.
Well, don't see why not.
A wall formed from tessellating blocks of bismuth rises before you, and from out of that wall juts a face at least 3 amawa high. Its mouth hangs open in a silent shout, eyes wide. A damp, frigid wind screams between the rocks. It carries whispers in its wake and chills you to your core.
The profligate liar returns.
The voice of Rimmergand, Rimmergander, rumbles from the stone. The realm around your, the realm around you begins to slow, until time contracts to stillness. An immense weight settles on your shoulders. No matter how you fight it, its relentless force drives you to your knees. Memories come then, not only of your own life, but of every life you've lived before, extending back through time to the moment the shard of essence that became your soul was formed. The memories of your past lives array themselves before you, one after another. The moment you look at one, it unfolds like a flower, revealing yet another memory that unfolds itself too, revealing yet one more, and on and on and on until the sheer weight of your past presses the breath from your chest. Just when you are certain you have lost yourself amongst the memories, time snaps back into place, and the rumble of Rimmergand's voice shakes the platform beneath you.
I have not forgotten the hollow-born souls you promised me, Watcher. Nor have I forgotten how I did not receive them.
The god's voice is sharp and pointed as a well-wrought blade. Though the madness abates and time moves again as it should, the crushing weight of your memories remain. And with a knowing laugh, Rimmergand speaks again.
But I will not concern myself with that for now. You did not receive an invitation to my realm, Herald of Barath. Tell me, why should I not grind your soul to dust?
The stone face splits into a broad smile. I doubt Barath would appreciate that.
I do not fear Barath's wrath. Embrace oblivion with open arms, Watcher.
The chill wind The chill wind you first felt when you entered this place picks up. It becomes a deafening cacophony, a shriek so loud and sharp it might tear the very bones from your skin, or shred your soul to cobweb tatters. Wait! Your cry echoes out into the void. Slowly the wind dies and the cold abates.
Do you fear dissolution after all? How droll. As much as it would delight me to scatter your soul, you belong to Barath.
I didn't stop you from killing me before.
I will spare you that fate. For now.
After I'm done with Aethys, I'm coming back for you.
Delicious. You need only whisper my name, and I will open a portal to my realm. I cannot wait to see what you try.
Ooh, we've made an enemy of the god of entropy.
Now, on to the matter that brought you here.
That's a nasty enemy to have.
Your Animancer friends meddle in things beyond their comprehension. Were I not the generous creature I am, you would have died. Be sure to tell the Animancers that they have failed, and that they have drawn my gaze. I will not hesitate to obliterate them if they irritate me again. Of course you will.
He radiates a satisfaction thin and sharp as polar sunlight. Maya thumbs her chin, nodding. Takehu pinches her lower lip and smiles.
You might prepare yourself, Watcher, for something wondrous is on the horizon. Aethys will usher in an age glorious in its brevity.
Interesting. Rimmergand wasn't among the Council of Gods that we were talking to before. Be careful when you're adding right now. Oh, actually, no, that should be fine. Just a heads up, the reason that everything is so low right now, Tenace, is because the fire is eating everything. And there's not too much that people are doing to stop it. Actually, can you check how many logs you had? Also, goddammit, it's definitely broken. That should have given you an error. Back to the drawing board. Check how many logs you have, and I will make sure that it's actually correct. We're using Salamanbot 2. So, some of the log amounts might be a little bit off. $7,000. That seems correct. I think I a little. Yeah, I think I was a little bit proactive with you. Unfortunately, Arcanum just barely beat Muramasa out. Okay, yeah, you've got the correct amount. And all is doing it, but it's case sensitive, and it's supposed to be giving you an error, but that error isn't happening. So that's something that I'm going to have to look into after the stream. So you can do vote Muramasa all. I think it's on cooldown right now anyway, but you have to make sure that it does have the capital M. If it doesn't, then it gives me a key error, and it's supposed to be giving you guys an error to tell you that it is case sensitive right now. but it's not, and I don't know why, and I'll have to look into that in a bit. Anyway, Rimmergand. This is Rimmergand. He's the god of entropy. We promised him a bunch of souls last time. He didn't receive those souls, and he's very unhappy with me for it. And I seem to have made an enemy of the god of entropy. Yeah, god of entropy. I'm a bit bummed out that this is how they end up displaying him, because I wanted to see his animalistic form, which is the great Auroch. I'll usher in a glorious sword to your face.
I see now why Barath likes you. And do send my regards to your Animancer friends.
Rimmergand's voice fades to nothing. Only the wind remains.
I'll never stray again if you just keep me away from Remergond.
Of winter.
Hey, sure. What do you need?
Jeez. The stone face is silent, though you cannot shake the feeling of being watched. Fortunately, gods of entropy generally just wait for you to die and feel smug about it afterwards. The funny thing is, I actually called his bluff.
Can you hear me?
I called his bluff the last time that we did this, Dupless. And it was not a bluff. And he actually killed me. Just flat out dead. Soul torn to shreds, never to be reincarnated ever again. A true death. Because Rimmergand serves a very specific purpose in the cycle. He is the true end. He's what happens to a soul after it's been through the wheel thousands upon thousands of times until it's become a tattered mess of essence and then gets reabsorbed back until it becomes a new soul again. He is the wheel upon wheels. The spoke, I guess you could say. You raise your head to find yourself surrounded by anxious faces. Flann withdraws the finger currently prodding at your temple and nearly stumbles backwards.
Oh, thank the gods. Thank Helia. Merla, you had us in a panic.
Flann sets a hand on her chest and fans herself with the other.
I don't have to tell you it didn't work. The current spiked and you went completely still. Breathing, but nothing else. We sent for the physician. Myself, I was about to try throwing some water in your face. What happened? Did you feel any pain? Do you remember anything?
Rimmergand sends his regards.
You had some kind of vision? A near-death experience?
With your safety assured, Flann's sympathetic expression quickly cedes to professional curiosity. No, I mean literally. I literally went to the beyond and spoke to Rimmergand.
What was it like?
Really not fun!
Sientere, Watcher, truly. It seemed we sent your mind further afield than intended, and without the rest of you in tow. Not entirely outside our predictions, but not the result we wanted. We have stipend for volunteers. You're welcome to the sum of it. I hope it goes some way toward earning your forgiveness.
Thank you.
Just as I hope this hasn't put you off helping us. We just have to adjust the current, give you a chance to control your flight, for want of a better word.
I don't think they understand what I'm telling them.
We're all very glad you're in one piece. We'll have a look at the machines, figure out what went wrong.
Look, Flann, if it hadn't been me, I wouldn't be in one piece.
Until then, I'm sure our friends at headquarters will want an update.
I was
to see
literally
I haven't done you any
saved.
permanent harm. We'll send word when we're ready here.
I was literally saved by my history. Ooh. Ooh, that's all very interesting. Yeah, right now we're trying to get as many shields as we can. We're really close to seeing the seeing Overheat actually shut down or begin to shut down.
This.
Animancer's hat. Let me do a thing. I think that works. Yes, that works. I wrote up a manual for Overheat because people kept asking about it. And then NB suggested it.
Supplies! Get your supplies here!
Razorgill. The Temple of Barath. That seems important to visit. That seems extremely important for me to visit.
So you defeated this ship-devouring beast all by yourself?
I'm telling you, you just have to aim for the eyes. You seen the view from up here?
Yeah.
So scary! We snuck out. Please don't tell.
There has to be a reason that I've seen this. I am a Herald of Barath, and I do not really like being a Herald of Barath, but it's what I am now. Gonna grab that. Hey there. An ailing Amawa priest regards your approach with curiosity. He coughs into a sleeve stained with a spatter of silvery flecks.
Come closer to the altar. Come inside. The temple welcomes all to worship, most especially you.
The priest peers knowingly at the center of your chest, lips curving, an ardent smile. Hands trembling, he touches a length of chain around his neck.
I ask only for no talking. Not until we pay our respects to Bereth, to Rikuhu. Let us pray.
Silent prayer? Where are the songs, I say? Did you learn this from Valians?
Again, I ask that you please fall silent for prayer.
Thanks, but I'll pass. The priest's head whips up. He gapes but nods, while murmuring a rushed prayer behind his stained sleeve. Tell me about the writing on these tomes.
Liturgies. Instructions for ritual preparations. When and how. Sermons. Some histories, too.
His fingers trail carefully across a stone as craggy as his skin.
All of this, it's our knowledge has gleaned through centuries of service. Now, I've got to leave it all behind for the next disciple.
It's an impressive altar. What else can this temple boast?
Under the temple, carved in the mountain's caverns, lies an extraordinary maze of catacombs. So I've read. They're the hanging sepulchres, burial place for ancient Wana chieftains. The bodies are protected by Bereth's best, roaming, always, plus the ways sealed by the deity itself.
His words catch in his throat, and he curves forward in a spine-racking fit, hacking until he's flush-faced. Fumbling a goat-skinned flask to his lips, he drinks until minnow silver liquid dribbles over and slicks his chin.
Better.
He wheezes, wiping a palm over his chin.
The timing's getting tighter, and there is one thing before the end. Something only one touched by Bereth can do.
What's in that liquid? What did you just consume?
Drafts mercurial.
He grins, teeth tinged gray. That's going to kill you. He shakes his head.
Getting my heart cut out going to kill me. When the time's right.
Bereth and I have a history.
I know you do.
He tugs at a chain around his neck.
My eels. My infinity coil keeps rattling. Pendants resonating with your chime.
The priest presses the palm of his hand to the front of his chest. He stares, scrutinizing your face. He shakes his head, disappointed.
The coil resonates, but it's weak. You could unseal the way, but you'd die inside, I think. My chance would be lost then. Lost with your remains. Not just anyone can escape the hanging sepulchres. Alive.
Kith-bearing Berath's chime are rare. This may be the only chance you get.
My time's waning fast. Right you are on that.
He sighs, wavers on his feet. He releases his grip on the pendant with a feeble nod.
I'd best not let this chance pass. There's a sacred text. The eulogy to Isaiah. It's been buried in the catacombs beneath the temple for centuries, next to his champions. I need it. Of course, the tombs, they only open to the dead, or those bearing Bereth's chime.
I'll get the eulogy for you, if you let me into the hanging sepulchres.
I prayed for decades, night to day and night again. Now, here you are, just in time. Means Bereth sent you to see to my success.
The priest bobs his head. From beneath his shirt, he untucks a stone-carved circlet in the image of an eel. The pendant vibrates on the length of its chain, thrumming harder the closer he holds it to you.
You're my best chance. Or only, maybe. Take the coil. It'll open the crypts. Bring me Isaiah's eulogy, and I'll teach you all I know of Bereth's arcana.
An infinity coil on a long chain depicting two eels, each consuming the other. This pendant, when resonating with Berathian chime, can open the gates to the hanging sepulchre. You mentioned something about undead in the catacombs?
The dead, with their souls, they roam still. The ones who were chosen by Berath. Not everyone's born so blessed. Sometimes, instead, you've got to die for it.
This is the Temple of Berath, right? So who's Rikuhu, Kahopa, and Tangaloa?
The same. Your word, Bereth. Our word, Rikuhu. We worship the twin eel. The cyclic connection of the overworld and the underworld. Life is Kahopa, and Tangaloa is death. Born starving, they devoured all living things, swelling larger each. When they'd swallowed all of existence, they tried to eat each other next. Now all things pass through their entrails. The end of one enters the mouth of the next, from the underworld to the overworld and back. Again and again.
I have some questions about Ysir and the catacombs beneath this temple.
I'll tell you what I can.
What's the story with Ysir?
He's no Juana, nor a death godlike neither, but he was a high priest of Berath. His hair was a Diran, a hunter, chasing the undead 200 years ago. Read somewhere, one tome, he sailed to the Deadfire for a weapon, abhorrent to Berath. Said the blade held a power most fearful.
The priest's face flushes with fervency. His voice rises in volume as he speaks until his breath catches, and he doubles over into a hacking fit.
Ysir fought hard for it, won the blade, but suffered grievous wounds.
Excellent. Yes.
Excuse me.
Berath kept him alive till he could make it to the temple's catacombs. His champions were the ones who wrote his eulogy. Later, they were buried in the sepulchres too.
How do I enter the catacombs under the temple?
You've got to go outside, on the lower walkway. Doors sealed up tight, though. Priests before me, all death godlikes, could open it. Door requires a coil, resonating with Berath's chime. But I haven't met a death godlike in my time.
I'd like to know more about the hanging sepulchres.
They're from the long-forgotten time, when there was only Juana living in the mountain. They got carved in even before the temple sprung up. Before there was Neketaka or a queen. They're well guarded, because not all of Berath's dead like the rest in their graves. All right. I will address your inquiries best as I can. So ask.
All right.
What have we here?
And there's a trap. Wrath the Enchanter. Oh, Tenace, I believe you can also vote offline as long as your Discord name is the same as your Twitch one.
A sacred coconut beetle is entangled in your hair.
Well, don't just watch it lay eggs. Pull it out for me.
It is a good omen. Let it crawl, I say.
Fair enough. But if it gets smushed, it ain't my fault.
Still working on the actual sync. Spire of the Soul Seers. Salamandbot 2 is very much a work in progress, but it is kind of working. A lot of bugs to work out. Still working on the YouTube side as well. Discord is working. Twitch is working. YouTube is not. And that's just awful. Mark van der Beej. You find a man man of middle years inspecting a metal tool unlike any you've seen. He has several similarly strange items on his belt, all quite clean and orderly. They look like the tools one might use to pull a tooth or shoe a horse, but much more delicate. He wears pristine, cream-colored robes. The muzzle of an arquebus is visible just over his shoulder. His eyes brighten when he notices you. The man's robes shimmer with a faint trace of arcane energy. Glyphs stitched into the arms and into the hems and sleeves seem to be the source of the effect.
A good day, traveler. I see you've taken an eye to my instruments. If you've any interest in the medical sciences, you need only ask. Well then, questions?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm a researcher in the medical sciences. And before you ask, no, I don't mean animancy. Neither do I mean magic, nor, gods forbid, necromancy. Medicine. Study of the Kith body, its inner workings and such. I've misgivings about magic use. It's useful, I'll grant you that. But it's a crutch. Stunts our scientific development, you understand. Makes me a bit unpopular, as you can no doubt imagine. Which is why I've got this arquebus here.
Oh no, to shoot anyone who wants to go at him. What do you mean by unpopular?
A patient of mine died under questionable circumstances. One morning they were fine, and the next they were dead. Someone is trying to discredit my work, I just know it. But they won't succeed. I came here to the archipelago to evade my rival's attempts at sabotage. And there certainly is quite a lot of work in the Deadfire, I must tell you.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm a researcher in the medical sciences.
Oh, okay.
And I've misgivings about magic use. I came here to the archipelago to evade my rival's attempts at sabotage. And there certainly is quite a lot of work in the Deadfire, I must tell you.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your research?
I've told you of my troubles. I suppose it's the least I can do. Settle in now. I've got a lecture prepared for just this occasion. Of course, it will cost you 3,000 copper.
No, I don't think so.
Should you change your mind, you'll...
Huh. The Magronite priest has the build of a boulder. His thick-set frame stretches his fine robes at the seams. He regards you with a steady, calm gaze, nodding in greeting.
Be welcome. We gather to honor the goddess. For we must earn the strength to endure the darkest of life's battles.
Magron and I aren't on the best of terms.
Do you believe so? It is not in might alone that Magron holds influence. There is purpose, conviction, achievement. You may honor her in many ways.
This is your temple?
Akira, rain and wind is a better teacher than any priest. A fighter accustomed to comfort earns only bruises. Each obstacle is a challenge we must answer. These are whetstones that sharpen us into fine blades.
I didn't expect to see so many foreigners at the temples.
It is an opportunity to learn. What good is a fighter who knows how to defend against a single enemy? If we must one day fight one another, such is Magron's will.
She is the goddess of wars. So... yeah. Okay, so that's Magron's temple. Barath's temple. Temple of Gaon.
Gone, shed light upon my path.
This is actually going to be interesting, because this god was dead until very recently. Or at least we think he was dead. They still haven't confirmed if he was or not. Adiric? What are you doing here?
So it is you. I could not think of a reason why your ghost should haunt the Deadfire, save to haunt me. And that smacks of arrogance.
Adiric smiles crookedly at you, something which the soldier beside him something which causes the soldier beside him to regard you with bemused curiosity.
Sister.
Adirik turns towards Jyoti, bowing his head. Jyoti tries not to preen. Takehu rocks back on his heels, nodding to himself. Adair nods in agreement. Adirik gestures, and the soldier turns away. He steps in closer towards you, as if to share a conspiratorial whisper, but you notice he is looking elsewhere, behind you, around you.
And why do these spirits follow you? More blood on your hands? We were never friends, I know, but when they told me your keep was destroyed, I was sorry to think that you were dead.
I thought you'd go back to raid Saris.
I did in time. Once I thought I'd summoned up the words to explain what happened in the White March. None of it made much sense to the Regency, but my men stood by me. If I was mad, so were they. When the priest spoke of Aethys' return, I volunteered to come, along with a few of my men. I think the Morning Council was content to have me out of the way. That's putting it all very simply. But then, I suspect few of us have simple reasons for coming to the Deadfire.
So Adirik is another Watcher, and I mean that on its own is really important, because Watchers are extremely rare. But more importantly, he ended up coming to my aid when I had to go up against the Eyeless that Andra sent to kill, what was it, Stalwart? Yes, to try and break down Stalwart's defenses. I'm sorry, Adirik. I lost my sword. I lost your sword along with my castle.
That sword was only meant to keep you alive through your ordeal. It's fulfilled its purpose.
What news of Raid Saris?
Each missive from the Deadfire raises new tumult. Some believe our Lord restored, while others doubt. We've done penance for many long years. None of us know what forgiveness ought to look like.
It doesn't seem like Aethys has his mind on forgiveness these days.
Still fretting about your Watcher abilities? Adirik's jaw tenses and he looks away, shifting uncomfortably.
I don't know. I came here on a pilgrimage of a kind. Neketaka is full of spirits. And the sea, where to begin?
Self-loathing is a blight on the soul, Adirik. Don't make your journey through hell darker than it has to be.
You're right, of course, sister.
Oh god. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Adirik stands up a little straighter, as if scolded. He shifts uncomfortably, his gaunt face drawn.
You are a Watcher still, yet you are neither mad nor killed. It's good to see.
Barath scraped off the rough spots, I guess.
Perhaps so. But you were worthy of Barath's attention.
I'm here to conquer the Deadfire for the Dyrwood. I'm tracking down Aethys.
So, his appearance has renewed your faith as well. I think for once I am content to wait. If our God wishes to speak with us, wishes anything of us, he will give us a sign. The priests pray daily for it.
Why you're so devoted to a jumped-up Engwithan, I'll never know.
Just as I will never know why you delight in being so baldly heretical.
Adirik sighs, venting his discomfort.
You may be shameless, but are not your allies devout?
I wasn't like this until after I fought Theos.
I better get back to you later on that one.
Take care. I've never seen a temple like Take Care.
Yeah.
It's good to see him again.
See why not.
Dawn hears your prayers, surely as I do.
As you approach, a wood elf straightens over an altar to Gon. Her robes mark her as a high priestess. She arches and cracks her back loudly, a satisfied grin spreading across her face soon after.
Jody, I do hope you are not getting into trouble now.
Who, me? No, I wouldn't dream of it.
She smiles at the sight of a stranger. You're the high priestess of the temple?
Do swine stink like shit?
She hits you with a toothy smile, eyes glittering with amusement.
I'm guessing you're not here to worship. Then what can I do for you?
Doesn't this place get a little damp?
No more than anywhere else. No sense fighting it. The
She-
water sustains our faith, surely as it does these trees.
You must be getting a lot of people in here these days.
Oh, yes. People are afraid, angry. Change can be frightening. But what did any of us come here for, if not a new beginning?
Your devotees have gone. What about Aetha's other manifestations?
Gone's the only one that matters.
The Shining God's got many faces, but they're all his to wear. Divine King Widewin, he saw the dawn stars, telling him of things to come. But it's gone with sickle and lantern that's come to the Deadfire. Our God's returned, and he's gonna bring balance to the world. He's gonna right all the wrongs we have suffered. Gone will bring a new beginning for all of us when that hour comes.
We're all looking for someone. She may have been through here. We're looking for someone. She may have been through here years back.
We receive followers of the Shining God every day. You might want to speak with Nordegand over there. She's been here the longest, and takes care to know everyone of our faith. I've got it.
Yeah. Fra Nils. Okay, Fra Nils, you are now my favorite kitty. I didn't expect some of the cats to have different bonuses. So many good kitties.
This I cannot...
A dream journal. The writing on this tattered scrap of paper looks like it was penned by someone still half asleep. Have you ever had a dream so real that you wanted Aetha so badly that you could do anything? A line is drawn through the writing, below which the author has scrawled, "No more cheese before bed."
On it.
Here for a meal? Just get in line, dear. Ain't no trick to it.
Hey, there's a lady I'm looking for. Came from Deerwood.
Adair waves a hand in the old woman's face as though expecting cataracts she does not appear to have.
Short, got a bad temper. It goes by Alava Mazzy. Heard of her?
I know an Alava, but that ain't a surname.
No?
Adair's jaw shifts sideways to gnaw on his piped stem.
Not real warm, that one. Stop by unannounced, you get a pistol up your nose when she answers the door.
Sounds like she's expecting you, Adair.
Yeah, that's her. So, she's living with her, husband, then?
Not that I noticed.
Adair exhales a surprising amount of air.
Huh. Must be laying low.
Just that boy of hers.
Adair's body goes perfectly still. It seems to waver in the breeze.
She's got a son? How old would you say? Like a little boy?
Groaning, Jyoti pulls her hair forward over her face, as if she can hide from the moment. Something the matter?
Nah, just curious.
Adair's grip on his pipe has caused the color to drain from his knuckles.
Oh, I couldn't say. It's been years. He must be a young man by now.
Wow, that's something. Well, thanks for your help.
Don't you want to know where to find her?
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
She's in Hasongo, last I heard. Got a little plot of land out there.
I guess we'll look that way then. Much obliged.
He's very worried that the mages will take his guns.
You know how I've been saying there's nothing more important to me than us freeing you from Barrett's bonds?
Yeah? Yeah, what's up?
Well, I meant that. I did.
Adair's breath lingers in his chest and his mouth hangs ajar, throwing his statement into immediate doubt.
But there's this other thing I need to see about. On the way, like. I was gonna tell you.
It's about love. You don't have to explain.
Thanks. I'm not sure I could anyway.
You're not the smartest tool on the shed, Adair.
This woman, well, love's not the right word. But she was something to me once, back in Gilded Vale. When I was mayor of Deerford, I had this vision of what I wanted it to look like. It was gonna be what Gilded Vale was, before the legacy. And in some ways it got there. I was proud of that. But it didn't feel like I thought it would. Come to realize there was someone I needed to show it to. Ilava. Well, she'd have been about the last person left in Deerwood who'd have seen what I made and understood. Last I saw her, she was going to New Hayamar. Went looking for her there, only to find that she'd left a long time ago. Anyway, I don't expect you to understand. But I gotta know she ended up all right.
That sounds like she ended up with a son.
Yeah, that's something. Coming out of Deerwood during that time. When I knew her, she had another little boy, just a baby. But the legacy deprived him of a proper life. I never found out what happened to him. But with the Hollowborn, you didn't have to ask. Guess he got a brother, though.
Adair falls quiet, blinking several times before noting your continued presence. You're sure you want to know where this leads?
No, but I don't see a way to let this go. At least a way's not now. Last time I saw Ilava, we got friendly. Now she's got a son.
Alright, let's get moving. I'm not going to ask that question. All right. Temple of Barrath. The Hanging Sepulchres are down here. This tree, its roots digging deep into the rock and bricks, hangs over the edge of the precipice. Below, an open tomb clings to the sheer wall of the cliff. I think we're good. We're gonna do this first. A massive door looms before you. The edges are sealed so tight not a breath of air escapes them. Religious runes sprawl the length, carved deeply into pitted stone. Something about stepping into the jaws of Tangaloa with a full heart. Charming prospect, I say. Takehu examines the door, stroking his chin. The door shudders and groans at your approach. An elaborate etching spans the stone's width, carved faintly beneath several runes. It depicts a small crowd praying to a pair of giant eels that have coiled above a large door. An Amawa priest holds a disc near the door's face. A religious artifact, blessed by Barath, is likely necessary to open the entryway. As the eel's coil nears the door, the stone-carved circlet rattles in your hand. Wisps of your soul essence encircle the coil, then reach outwards. The tendrils curl towards the door, touching it, soaking it in a purple glow. A murmur, like Barath's own welcome, whispers up from under your feet. The door begins to slide open, grinding down into the ground. Woo.
I've got it.
What have we here?
Oh, what's that? Hey! Exceptional maze. +2 to discipline. That's pretty good for Adair. Also, that's a mace for Adair. I think everything else will take. What is this? +15 to max health. Okay.
Of course.
I'm ready to brawl.
Speak your mind.
Meet 'em.
Shark, 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 shark.
This will not do.
I am a shark. Okay. Burp.
Happy to oblige.
Ho! Hogwash! Huh? Let's go.
Hey.
And is it just the one dude?
Gander over there.
I'm glad we ignored all those traps.
Speak freely. I've got this, Captain.
No, you don't. You don't even begin to have
Speak
this.
your mind.
Oh,
Happy to oblige.
I main. We may be underleveled for this.
Got it.
These guys are highly skilled.
I'm listening. Ha! Right between the eyes.
Would you look at that?
You have my attention.
What can I do you for?
Can you just murder it? Thank you. Okay, we may have to do this particular quest later. I feel like we're just underleveled in general. We could kill that guy, but everything they're using is just really high quality. Give that to Adair. Give that to Adair. How does that compare? It's just better. And this breastplate. Is just better in literally every way. Alright. Well, that was already an upgrade for Adair. Neat.
Real quiet now.
The reflexes and charm should do the job. The reflexes and charm should do the job.
Happy to oblige.
We'll see how far I get in this before.
I smell conflict in the air.
There's a risen Amawa over there. I am a shark.
Watch me, mother!
Take him down.
Yeah?
Stay behind me.
Speak freely. Ha!
Jeez, dude. Risen priest, risen armsman. That priest needs to die.
Time to separate the chaff.
At your service.
We may not be able to do this. I'm gonna reload. Those guys are really high level. And we're not doing that much damage to them. And if they have a priest, then that's our combat advantage out the window. So we're going to try this again later.
hurry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We need to just pick something that isn't super high level. We got lucky with the Remergand one. Hmm.
Does it suit you? Being a
What is your business at the Brass Citadel?
Hmm. I met the Hazanui Karu at the palace.
You're the Watcher. The one who nearly caused a riot in Queensbirth.
His mouth quirks in a grin.
The Grand Secretary Atsura wants to meet you. His office is on the lower level of Imperial Command. Up the stairs. Once you're inside, go downstairs through the room on the right.
What about the Hazanui?
Her office is at the back of Imperial Command. She is busy organizing other matters.
Hmm.
But I am sure she will grant you an audience.
I like knowing that someone has a plan. Never felt it from the gods.
You ever think, maybe I put my faith in the wrong cause?
Faith is what you feel in a given moment. Like a bird's feathers, it molts from time to time.
Forsaken cat?
Not happening.
Oh my god, there's so many cats. Give me that cat. Cadrix. Plus 20 health restored per kill. There's so many cats.
Beat it. I don't have time to chit-chat.
The thin Valian glances over your shoulders with an expectant frown. Hmm. Oh, this is Berteno. You stole a pair of gloves from the dark cupboard? Give them to me.
Not a chance, Aimika.
He narrows his eyes at you.
Fascina sent you, didn't she? Bostenago, just for these?
He shakes it, shaking his head. He pulls a pair of fine gloves from his pocket, studying them with evident disappointment.
Soft as down, but not a single fence willing to pay me a fair price. Maybe they've got imp stink all over them.
Or maybe the stink of failure, you no-good thief. He opens his mouth to say more, but something in the southwest distracts him, and his expression fills with dread.
Here he comes, and I'm too late. If Hamuto doesn't give me an extension on my debt, I'm a dead man.
Keep your mouth shut and follow my lead. Glancing at you, Berteno shrugs and swallows down a lump in his throat. A unit of steely-eyed sailors approach the docks, clutching pikes and firearms with quiet professionalism. At their head stands a tall Amawa in mustard yellow uniform. He turns his attention between you and Berteno.
So,
Berteno, you hired a mercenary. Or else a negotiator. That coin should have gone toward your debt to me.
Hamudo rubs a long scar that extends the length of his neck.
Huh? No, I didn't. That is, I would never go behind your back.
Berteno's voice falters and he turns to you with sudden panic. Berteno, shut up. The adults are talking. Hamudo's eyes brighten and he nods. The soldiers around him chuckle with approval.
I like dealing with people of substance.
He nods thoughtfully.
This is a private matter. Your interference is unnecessary.
Hamudo spreads his hands in a peaceful manner as his soldiers level their guns at Berteno. You sound more reasonable than I was led to believe.
Do I? One can be adherent to the tenets of maritime law and still be seen as a monster.
Perhaps I can pay what's owed?
You must care a great deal for this insufferable little worm to stake your purse on his freedom.
Hamudo taps his lower lip in thought.
400 pyres are what Berteno owes. And I will accept that sum to have this sorry business concluded.
What's your plan for Berteno?
Indentured servitude. I trust this is a more honest and respectable alternative than any pursuit he would take on his own terms.
Since he can't pay up, take him. Fair's fair. Berteno glances around, growing panic evident in his frantic movements. He freezes when one of Hamudo's men raises a gun and points it at his face.
Enough. I have work for you.
Before you go, I need the gloves Berteno stole.
No. Berteno's assets are mine to dispense with as I please.
Oh.
I'll hear no more of it.
He stole them from the wizard Arkhamir. Do you want that on your conscience?
These are Arkhamir's possessions?
Hamudo looks at Berteno with grudging respect.
I would no more incur the wrath of an archmage than I would stick my head inside a dragon's maw. There you have it. If our business is concluded at last, then I take my leave.
+1 to dexterity, +1 to slate. Grants spark crackers. Produces a dazzling swarm of colorful bursts, startling and confusing everyone in the affected area. Hamudo nods to you and turns to leave. His soldiers usher Berteno onward. Bye!
With sails unfurled and sword held high, to battle for glory and Rautai.
Faithfully done, Emiani. Report to Wakoyo Nui when your hands and your temper have healed.
That's the last time I ship out with some soft-handed runt.
Come to gawk, too? My punishment's over, you know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you.
I shouldn't take my anger out on you. It's not your fault I punched my captain.
It's as if the mere mention of the incident takes her back to it. Her face darkens with anger, and a bitter snarl transforms her features.
Though maybe he shouldn't have insulted my aim. Like I don't know the difference between a smooth and rifled bore.
She shakes her head, quietly stewing. He deserved it.
He asked if I knew where I was pointing my cannons. I told him to bend over in front of one and we'd find out. It escalated from there. Anyway, I'm not reporting back to Wakoyo, that's for sure. I crewed on mercenary ships before this. Come to think of it, that suited me better.
She grins impishly.
Still a scramble-root at heart, I guess. But I'm plenty experienced. Maybe I'll see if anyone's looking for an expert cannoneer.
I could use an experienced cannoneer on my crew. She looks you up and down, considering your offer.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I only crew with captains I know. Either personally or by reputation. I'm sure you're capable. but I don't know enough about you. Yet.
Her eyebrows quirk up in hopeful suggestion.
Let's talk again when you've made a name for yourself.
Fair.
Hello there. Say, you look like you're a long way from home.
She smiles amiably.
I've got all sorts of goods and supplies. Take a look before you head back out.
Why are you working at a Rauatayan outpost?
Because I'm from Rauatai. Or, to be more specific, my ancestral home's been part of the Empire for decades. Few generations now.
How did your homeland become part of Rauatai?
The usual way, I guess. Their soldiers beat ours.
She shrugs. Doesn't that bother you? She glances around to see if anyone is in earshot.
I guess it used to. When I was younger, I grew up hearing stories of the time before from my grandparents. But they were children themselves when Rauatai took over. Some wax romantic about the old days. Anyways, I'm just trying to make a living. That's why I'm here, after all.
What's it like, living under Rauatayan rule?
I don't know. I never known anything else. We've got the Rauataians' fancy new irrigation canals now, and the roads have gotten better. The ones leading into Tekoa, anyhow. Funny thing is, the further you go on them, the nicer everything gets, and the more it all looks like this.
She nods at the stone walls and towers.
That's a better subject. Take a look.
Alright, what she got? The Ring of Greater Regeneration. Now that is an interesting one. This twisted wire ring was cold wrought from living steel. It courses with healing soul energy. Since it is comprised of various small bones affixed with cords of sinew, this macabre necklace stinks like the grave. The noise created by the bones clicking together sounds like a gruesome chime, causing your hair to stand on end. Grants Call of the Restless. Summons one of a random vessel. Huh. Wait, fine pistol. That could be an upgrade for a certain person. What does this do otherwise? +2 to intellect, +5 to accuracy against vessels. That is admittedly a pretty good amulet, and it's more interesting than just the bland Ring of Regeneration. How about I give that to you? More intellect.
Does it bring out the color of my eyes?
I forgot that intellect increased area of effect. Well, I was giving him a lot of area of effect spells, like Blizzard. The Hazanui's cannonball, cold as winter until suddenly she's
when
not.
You've got bad news. She respects that.
I don't think she likes me. I spent most of my career escorting foreign ships.
Many have. She's got nothing against scramble routes, but don't stare at her hand.
Who are they talking about?
This I cannot do.
Cargo manifest shows saltpeter received from Rauatai and raw foodstuffs shipped back. You be lurking around these parts? How you doing, squad car? You missed Disco Elysium. We finished the whole game again. That was good times. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What about you, B-Dog? You been surviving? Let's see. That goes to the gullet. That's the officer's lounge. Fleet master's office we haven't been to. Then there's the powder house. Also Imperial Command, which we'll get to eventually, god damn it. Everything's still on fire, by the way, if anyone wants to try and figure out how to add stuff to the fire. Don't just add everything. That's not how you want to do it. We're trying to stop it, not cause a bigger explosion.
Clear skies, my friend.
Wakoyo crosses his arms and tips his head to the side. A long scar traces a path down his face, curving sharply where his cheek rises with a smile. Zephy Merrigan, captain of the Defiant, at your service.
I know of you already, Captain. Maya, I assume you vouch for your new captain.
He turns his focus towards Maya and Ashiza.
On occasion. Why?
Your ship, unmoored from Deadfire politics, is an asset I would grasp with both hands. An arrangement can help us both. You will empty the seas of competition in exchange for profit.
Hunting ships for Rauatai? Where do I begin?
This courage will win you many battles, I think. A Scylla wave skipper is your first target. A pirate shirking any pretense of lawful conduct in the open seas.
Wakoyo grimaces and itches at his scar. Just surviving day to day. As are we all. I might be getting the YouTube side working again pretty soon, B-Dog. But right now, the YouTube side of the bot is a bit busted. Then I'll be able to give the option to vote again, and that'll be fun. I'm actually really happy with how the bot's been going so far, but I'm a little dissatisfied with how overheat happened this year. There are ways that I can improve it, but I'm not sure how I'd implement them yet. You know what? I'll take the bounty.
Most excellent. Asilla commands the Voyager River Dragon, which pesters a group of islands to the southwest of Port Mage.
Before I go, I have some questions.
Ask away, my privateer. I would not have you take to the water uninformed.
What bounties do you have available?
You have your assignment, Private, but the spirit... so willing. In this, I can find no fault.
Aren't you afraid that privateering will start a war?
An official reckoning is drafted to account for every cannonball shot in the name of Rauatai. Our paperwork is most thorough. For every ship sunk, there is a legal justification. Our enemies will know the war is started on the day we fail to turn in our paperwork. Our enemy. Let no one say aha.
All right.
Yeah? Huh? Mm-hmm.
An inscription that reads, "That which grows is strengthened," by Coral Mason. Who?
Will do.
Torquil. By the way, B-Dog, do you need a little bit of a recap on exactly what's going on here? Yep, I'm working on it. YouTube chatbots are a time and a half.
Soldier?
Nah, where I'm from. Sometimes the simple life comes knocking on your door with nooses and pitchforks.
The Ranga Nui, and it's a commemoration to show what he built.
Oh. Then did your Reparo also write their names on other stones?
Hey, Tanara.
All this trouble over a tablet of fucking stone. If my company's standing wasn't...
Right. Flint and tinder. Imperial Command lower. A young woman with a bright, wide smile and eyes to match raises her hands and gives you a quick but enthusiastic wave. Then, with an exaggerated look of embarrassment, she stops herself and crosses her forearms over her chest.
I always forget that part. Say, you're the Watcher of Cad Nua, aren't you? I've never met anyone famous before. Except the Hazanui. She yells at me sometimes.
Her grin widens impossibly. The Hazanui yells at you?
Oh, all the time.
She screws her face up into a look of mock seriousness. Still, she can't keep from smiling.
Where's my white leaf? Stop daydreaming. So, Bormy, if you lose the ledgers again, I'll have you clean the latrines.
Well, that's why we had the commands, but you can't do them on the YouTube side right now anyway. I'm working on it, don't worry. It's just taking longer than I'd like.
All this time, I didn't realize she knew my name.
Are you always this excitable?
It's just, this is my first time away from the rough country. I'd heard there were thick, green forests and sandy beaches without a storm in sight, but I never imagined this. You must have traveled lots, seen all sorts of amazing places.
What does this why does this interest you so much?
I love Rauatai, but it's hard to go a week without seeing storms, or hearing about mudslides burying a village somewhere.
Her buoyant expression sags, but only for a moment. You're the quartermaster. Can you sell me something?
I really wish I could, but my supplies are for the Royal Deadfire Company and our allies. Hazanui's orders. Maybe if you impress her or Atsura, they could make an exception.
We just leveled up somehow. I don't exactly know where we got the XP to level up, but we just leveled up. Neat. Keep doing Sleight of Hand. Enemies near the chanter become weakened and have their might reduced. That seems pretty good. Yep. Definitely true. Oh, but knock not on the door of Erdle and Girdle. I have to. Erdle and Girdle are easily the two best summons, in my opinion. Oh, wow. We just got a whole crap ton of experience. Karu paces back to her desk, looking like a shark circling the shallows. She clenches a long, elegant pipe between her teeth, the smoke trailing on an acrid wake behind her. She looks up when you enter and favors you with a brief nod of acknowledgement.
The former lady of Cadnua, and one-time terrifier of harbor masters, if dockside tales are to be believed.
She smiles briefly through the smoke.
You have not brought much good news of late.
Yeah, I summoned a whole bunch of dead.
So, in addition to pirates, profiteers, and slavers, the Deadfire has a vengeful god roaming its waters?
That's about the shape of it. I mean, it could be worse, though. At least it's not Skane.
Tell that to my dead at Hasongo.
Oh wow, everyone's got reactions to that.
Just what the archipelago needs. One more disaster tugging at the seams. He must be stopped.
She halts, turning to face you. You're finally able to get a good look at her. She's not especially large for an Amawa, but she carries her shoulders high. Her weathered face looks to have seen many storm-blown and sun-beaten days on deck, yet her eyes are sharp and keen. No one's got it in for him more than me.
Determination. That's good, but you need a plan. And an ally.
She watches you, her eyes bright with calculation.
The Valians won't lift a finger if it isn't to snatch a coin, and the Huana will barely do that much.
No? Tell it to the water shapers who washed your stranded boats from sandbars, Hazanui.
Takehu folds his arms and waits.
No one takes charge to solve the big problems. But perhaps we could work together to our mutual benefit.
She takes the pipe in her left hand. As she does, you notice her right is unusually still. Perhaps we could.
Look around. Deadfire's full of fertile, temperate islands. Except for Andra's mortar. It's largely free of rough weather.
She waves her right hand, and you notice again that her fingers remain largely still. You realize it's an unusually fine prosthetic.
Yet much of it is uninhabited. Itinerant tribes drift between some of the islands, and smugglers and slavers cluster around the rest.
She shakes her head.
It's a waste. Imagine what this place could be, with well-guarded shipping routes. How many Rowataians we could feed with plantations here.
What does that have to do with me?
If you're chasing the god who's stomping this place into the ground, then we have a common goal. And if you're going to survive here, then you could use an ally.
A hint of a smile tugs her lips from the tar-stained teeth. Yep. Although I wouldn't really call this one a classic. Pillars of Eternity 2 came out 2018, I believe. What do you have in mind?
The disaster at Hasongo remains a key concern. We rely on the port there to ship food back to Rawatai.
She sucks on her pipe, hiding her worried expression behind a cloud of smoke.
That's on hold until you investigate. Short of that, there are other matters that demand attention.
God damn it, this place is a powder keg of politics.
Atsura, our Grand Secretary, has a plan that would make use of your unusual talents.
I'm sure she does. And you know what I have? I have a cat. Who is not amused. You used that clearly not a vampire from last time yet? Nope, we're probably going to pick her up this time, though. Rimmergan decided to not kill us this time. Thankfully. Yeah. How you doing, Zatara? Yeah, I'd say homage to the classics is a good way to put it. But it doesn't borrow overly heavily. Like, a lot of the systems are very clearly built from the ground up. The weird endurance system they had in Pillars of Eternity 1 is gone now. So they're not afraid to get rid of stuff that doesn't work. And they keep changing. Tyranny was a completely different system, and I quite like Tyranny's systems. I think when this came out, it made much more money than big business expected, they thought. Oh, fuck, people do want... Yeah, yeah. And then you started seeing stuff like Divinity Original Sin 2, which came out and made all the money and continued to make all the money. And just... I don't understand how Larian keeps developing more stuff to it, or for it. Because holy crap. If I could work on something like this, I would be so happy.
His office is downstairs. He can tell you more.
What's the game board for?
Hazatoa. Atsura and I usually have a game running, and this one's been going on for over a month and a half. Atsura's good at misdirection, but I've got a mind for the long game. You look like you've come with a purpose.
What happened to your hand? She extends her arm, holding the prosthetic between you. It's an exquisite piece, with reinforced joints, and in each of the fingers and a smooth, sanded finish.
It happened a year into my first command. We were chasing pirates along Rawatai's south coast, and they landed a shot right next to our magazine.
Yeah, I'm a bit mixed on the turn-based stuff. Like, it's fine. It's no Divinity, though.
A lucky hit.
Also, there's a common problem where, what do you call it? Pathfinding will waste all of your movement points, and you end up in the wrong spot.
I ran below. The fire was already spreading and making for our powder stores.
What did you do?
I smothered what I could with my uniform, pulled the rest away with my own hands.
If you hadn't, you and your crew would probably have died. She nods.
We don't get to choose our challenges, do we? Just the way we meet them. There's a cost to every victory, and the win goes to those willing to make a sacrifice.
She considers the wooden hand, turning it in the light. You sense satisfaction in her gaze.
I'll bet you already know a thing or two about that. And if you don't, Deadfire will teach you soon enough.
I appreciate that everyone in this is voiced. It definitely adds to the experience a lot. Have you played any of these, B-Dog? Any CRPGs lately? Yeah. Yeah, I figured. Mostly because I think her lantern gets a bonus due to religion. Jyoti is a surprisingly good mage. Specifically with Blessed Harvest, because holy crap, this thing hurts. How much damage does this do? Does this do raw damage? Slash damage. It does slash damage. Been too busy as of late to play any. Yeah, you've been hopping around games for a while now. End up managing to beat anything recently? This sounds really good. Sometimes we don't need the massive AoE. What's this? Gain increased penetration with acid and decay attacks. Triumph of the Crusaders. Okay, that's fine. When you try... Oh, man.
Sure.
Trying to beat Morrowind is going to take a while. That game doesn't end. Alright, right. Everyone else needs to be leveled up. Athletics. Survival. I think that maxes out. Now then. Lunges through the battle. That's really good. Weapon specialization.
Huh?
Is it your first time playing Morrowind?
Right.
Are you enjoying it? Also, what are you playing it on? PC, I assume? Or an old Xbox? I don't know if it came out on PlayStation. Orphan Dog!
Too difficult, I say.
Huh?
That is pass. We are saving all of the dogs. Morrowind was, for a very long time, my favorite game. And then Prey happened. Love Prey so much.
Did you see those awful verses by the kitchen?
They weren't that bad.
Rhyming Hazanui with kablooey?
I can't think of anything else that goes with Hazanui.
Me neither. That's why I leave epics to the lore college.
Criticism is easier than creation.
Food-stained tally sheets tucked beneath the battlefield model suggest it's been used for recreational purposes. Oh, right. I've got so many followers now. It's your first time. It's on Xbox One from Game Pass. I didn't realize it was on Game Pass. Huh. Interesting. That is something I did not know. Oh my god. I hate this mouse. This mouse is the worst. Okay, so that should give him a damage bonus to all electricity attacks. Just hope we don't end up fighting storm blights again. The man behind the desk regards you with attentive, unblinking eyes and a perfectly open expression. His mouth features make it hard to pinpoint his age, though the crinkles at the corner of his eyes suggest he's not especially young. He cocks his head, taking your measure. He pauses before speaking, just a little longer than seems normal. When he finally does, he crosses his forearms over his chest and gives you a slow, exquisitely courteous nod. The whole gesture is so perfectly choreographed that it seems he must have practiced it many times.
Watcher Nui, the Lady of Cadnua.
He gives you a sleek half-smile that reveals a row of perfect pointed teeth.
I'm not one for ostentation, but your remarkable display at Queen's birth suggests that you are an individual with skills, not mere style.
This is the part where you tell me what I can do for the Royal Deadfire Company, right?
You are most canny, but I think we can do plenty for each other.
His eyes shine with interest. He blinks, perhaps the first time since your conversation began.
Rauatai has long maintained trade interests in the region.
He gives you that unusually placid smile again.
While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soils make it a poor source for most other basic staples.
Sorry, I thought I heard a fire alarm going off. Okay, seems like it's calmed down now.
It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here.
Do those interests include Luminous Adra?
That is a Valian frivolity.
Ah.
Leave it to them to observe a substance that occurs nowhere else on Aora, and immediately set about pulverizing it for profit.
A ripple of distaste passes over his features. And what would you do with it?
Nothing. We know too little about Luminous Adra to understand the consequences of ripping it out.
He pauses and considers you.
Perhaps you can help me keep them from doing more harm.
That depends on what's in it for me.
We are powerful allies with a formidable fleet and mighty cannons. I'm sure we can come to a suitable arrangement.
The smile that has begun to spread across his lips vanishes as he launches into the matter.
The demand for luminous Adra has sent the Valian Trading Company into a frenzy. Their expeditions grow too bold, and their officers too greedy.
He puckers his lips as though at a lack of discretion at a dinner party. Jeez, wow, I was having trouble with that sentence.
Worse, their rapid expansion attracts pirates and threatens the outlying Huana tribes. This risks souring the Kahanga royals against all foreign involvement.
He inclines his head like he's about to let you in on a secret.
But you can curtail their growth.
How do you expect me to do that?
The Valians have sent an expedition to Poko Kahara, a storm-wrecked island believed to house a vein of luminous. I hear you accomplished an incredible feat in restoring the luminous Adra near Port Maje.
He appraises you again with those unblinking eyes.
If your abilities allow you to do that, then perhaps you are also capable of the opposite. Find the luminous Adra at Poko Kahara. Render it unusable to the Valians. This should encourage them to develop the resources they have, rather than reaching for more.
His eyebrows rise a degree, both a request and an invitation. I thought you were concerned about disturbing luminous Adra.
Deeply.
He furrows his brows, frowning deeply. Abruptly, his expression clears.
But if a small sacrifice here will discourage the Valians from further ventures, then it is a worthwhile risk.
What's to say I don't tell the Valians about this?
For all their faults, they don't lack imagination. I'm confident they know of our intentions.
Very well.
I do not have the precise location of Poko Kahara, but the tribe on the nearby island of Tikawara could probably help. I suggest starting there.
He circles a small, out-of-the-way island on your map.
Now, what else can I do for you?
What exactly is the Brass Citadel? He hesitates, looking at you as if the answer is obvious.
It's a trading post, of course.
Your trading post has high walls, cannons, and guard towers.
Anything worth building is worth protecting.
What sorry. You seem different from the rest of the Royal Deadfire Company.
How do you mean that?
You're hard to read.
It comes from years of practice. It's the only way I've learned to beat Karanui at Azatoa.
One more level.
Your orders?
All right. She's a sniper. She's a very good sniper. Okay. Hunted Claw. The ranger strikes in melee like an apex predator. Studying the moment that this said melee, I was out. Instructs the ranger's animal companion to rush a target, knocking it prone. The next attack on the target deals greatly increased damage. Yes. You know what? We'll go for the one that's more consistently useful. Armor is hard to plan for. Defensive Bond. The empathic link between ranger and animal companion yields a preternatural awareness of incoming danger, giving both a significant damage to defense against area of effect attacks when the two are within 4 meters of each other. That's not going to happen very often. Ooh, that's something that we can make use of. Ooh. I think I'll go with this since we can actually already use it. The other one I'd have to build for.
Captain. Aye, aye.
Rangers seem to be one of the just straight up DPS classes. It's what they do. All right.
You're giving Ishi a weird look. What did he do?
I'm not giving him a weird look. He's giving me a weird look.
Come on, Elsa. Elsa's sitting on top of my stream PC and wondering, when's food? But she's got food. Actually, okay. We're gonna pause briefly, and I'm going to go show her that she has food. Isn't that right, Elsa? Don't you have food? I see you with your food and stuff. McStuffins. Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Come on. All right. She knows. Elsa definitely knows. Got myself a nice looking party there, yeah. They're a pretty good bunch, I'd say. The gunsmithy. Uto's gunsmithy. The man greets you with arms crossed over his chest. He has a mass of scar tissue where his left eye would be, and his hands are knotted with bulging tendons.
Looking for a pistol or an arquebus? Rauatai makes the finest guns in Eora, and I make the finest guns in Rauatai.
What makes your gun so special?
Craftsmanship.
He holds out his knotted hands, keeping them entirely still as he speaks to you. They're covered in small burns and scars that blur the varied pigmentation of his skin.
If you ask my superiors at Imperial Command, they'll tell you our main exports are saltpeter and metal.
That's very true.
Those are just things. They're prized because of what we do with them.
He reaches under the counter and presents a blunderbuss, holding it out for your inspection with his ever-steady hands. It's a high-quality piece.
Rauataian industry is about discipline, precision, mastery of a careful art. Those qualities guide all that we build.
He puts the blunderbuss away. Let me see what you have. Dragon's Dowry. Haven't I seen this one before? Rufus Eichmont, elder gunsmith of the Forged in Fire, a military Magronite warband, crafted this arquebus for his own use during the Saints' War. Unwilling to trust his life to a weapon unless it had the blessings of Magron, he melted fire and steel into an instrument of blazing destruction. The gun's firing mechanism is unique, as it does not rely on flint or match to spark the pan. Instead, ornate arcane symbols on the hammer and frizzen provide the necessary ignition for the primer. This rune lock, as Rufus called it, is effective and reliable. Dragon's Dowry fires lead balls wreathed in fire. When loaded with rune powder, it can belch forth a torrent of pure flame. Unfortunately, the unstable magics that provide such power are unpredictable. On occasion, hot powder can blow backwards upon firing, burning the shooter. Rufus saw this not as a drawback of his creation, but as just offerings to Magron. The burns that pocked his cheeks and hands and arms were symbols of his penitence and his god's good favor. I like this. 10 burn damage on launch attack, plus 20% damage is burn. Blunted criticals, inaccurate. Unfit for melee. Veil piercing. It is legendary, so it's got absolutely huge damage. And then even more damage on top of that. Generates a fearsome vertical sheet of flame, inflicting burn damage on anyone moving through it. That is a 42,000. That's expensive. Oh, B-Dog, feel free to ask for a recap on anything that you don't that you're wondering about. Oh, I just noticed there's a discount up here. When did we get a discount? Opening shot. Scoring hits with this weapon grants a stacking -5% initiative with melee weapons for 5 rounds. I wonder how many times it stacks. Vincelo Scodeo acquired this ivory-furnished pistol from the second captain he ever led a mutiny against. Leading mutinies was, in fact, one of Scordeo's few talents. He was a mediocre sailor and a poor pirate, mostly because of his acute distaste for following orders, but he was an excellent turncoat. The mutiny went off without a hitch. Scordeo disarmed the captain and shot him in the head. That accomplished, Scordeo took command. His brief stint as captain was cut short by a second mutiny shortly after. However, and he found himself marooned on a small atoll. His treacherous shipmates had been kind enough to leave him the clothes on his back, his new pistol, and half a bottle of rum. Unwilling to pull the trigger on himself, Scordeo drank the rum and waited to die. Huh. I'm gonna get Dragon's Dowry at some point. I love all of the unique weapons in this. Dragon's Dowry is expensive and extremely powerful.
having some disturbing dreams. Makes it hard to sleep.
I'm sorry, but this area is strictly off limits.
The young guard draws himself up to his full height, crossing his arms. Can I just look around inside?
Sorry, my orders come from the Hazanui herself.
Come on, I can't get into that much trouble. Not when this place is so well guarded.
All it would take is one stray flame, one errant spark.
He catches himself and stops, shaking his head.
No, I'm sorry, but you really don't understand.
What is this place?
Private property of the Royal Deadfire Company, that's what.
Neat. Well, we're not getting in there. Okay, we have quests to do now. First of all, we're going to Queensbirth. Jesus. A group of Principi sailors approach you on the street. Are we fighting them?
Teller, a moment.
Oh, he's got a name. A tall, wiry man blocked your path. He wears a sly smile, as one might wear the most comfortable trousers.
I saw you speak to my dear amico Degnos, so I thought to myself, why, Talfor, you must meet her too.
Arrayed about him are a group of kith, well armed and armored. I've read your letter. Your penmanship is terrible. I'm embarrassed for you.
I am wounded.
Blush colors his cheeks, and he chuckles, the back of his hand held against his mouth.
But what did you think of its contents, Quay?
What reason do I have to trust you with my thoughts?
Have you had the unique pleasure of meeting Aveta? Degnos would not be the first to abandon her crew.
He plays with the knife at his waist and smiles grimly.
A little revenge would not be amiss, I think.
Revenge can take many meanings. What's yours?
It is not revenge on Aveta I want, but her cargo.
Cargo? That's not what I was expecting. Found a helmet with druid spells in it. Nice! He turns to his hand, casually regarding the many rings on his fingers.
We'll spare her, so long as she surrenders, of course. If she seeks a fight, who am I to refuse her?
Alright. Later, B-Dog. Thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you again, man. I hope that you continue to have a good time. Lightning Punch. Gotcha. I didn't expect such whining from pirates.
Perhaps I have been overlong with the Principi, who value fair play in a way villains do not.
Valians. He twists his face into a sneer, idly thumbing the dagger at his belt. I imagine Aveta will have some choice words to say about this.
A shame, then.
Looks like trouble. What's that?
Alright. First of all, I want to see what this does. No, bird!
Speak freely.
Why would you do this to the bird? The bird was a good boy. Stop that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so let's try this out. Ooh. Okay, it goes up to maximum and down to a little bit.
Huh?
Hold turn. Wow, they really hate that bird.
Yeah?
Hold turn. Oh, that worked out. They came to you. Okay. Now then, Burb. Do not fuck with the bird. The bird is dangerous as balls. Okay, so what have we got? We got a priest who I am totally going over to murder because they are a priest and they need to die.
What do you need?
You really glad you went druid monk? Round 1, lightning punch. Round 2, lightning elemental form. Lightning elemental form? You can turn into an elemental? That sounds awesome. I do want to try out a druid at some point. Okay. Lower their guard. The fighter lunges. Hi! Oh my god, that does so much damage. What is that? Oh! Oh, badass! That's what we summoned. Okay, that did +4 lightning damage. Elsa, you know you're not supposed to be on the... I don't know what to make of this cat.
Yeah.
Okay. What does this mean? Creates a large zone of divine shelter, granting allies defense. Wait, can I change the scale? I cannot change the scale of that one. This one I can change the scale of. Oh, it's not a parrot. It's a bird of prey of some description. Okay, so that priest is already dead. That one's wounded. Talfor himself is not looking so hot. Ooh, pillar.
Lavru be on seek. Huh?
I do like how it's not spells per rest anymore. It's spells per encounter. It's really good. That is a much needed improvement. Also, Gork and Mark would like a word.
You were saying?
Okay. So first of all, second of all,
what do you need?
Perathus!
Oh. Well, it was after an escape, so I knew it was unlikely that they'd actually manage to kill. Man, that bird is tanky. How much health does that bird have? 116. That bird is tankier than some of my other characters.
Take him down.
Alright, this pistolier is gonna get fucked.
Got it. At your service.
Alright. I could go after them or I could finish off. Cool. And now it's on tail 4.
Yeah.
Tail 4, I don't know how much health. He's got...
Let's reap this whirlwind.
Tail 4 is going to die. It's just a matter of how soon. No, not the burb.
Your orders?
My orders are for you to shoot Tail 4 in the stupid face.
Ashiza, strike!
That was 39 damage. I will take that.
What do you need?
You know what? We'll stay in fighter stance right now.
Need something stronger.
Elsa, what are you doing? Elsa knows that she has my attention for most of the day right now. Bonk. Fantastic. And now we kill the Principi Pistolier. Jibsed. That was a bird that did that, by the way.
At your service.
For my captain!
I imagine that since we keep jibbing people... Yeah, that's the next mark for the hunt. He's next to a bunch of pistol stuff. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Can you...
Lavru, be on seek.
Yeah?
Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Can I also... No. I didn't take spell shaping on her. I'm gonna paralyze him? And then we're running away.
What do you need?
Paralysis is one of my favorite abilities at this point. I'm gonna also heal up the bird, because the bird needs healing. Bonk. Much bonk.
Say your prayers.
Did that not explode? That didn't explode. I'm very, very disappointed in myself. That's a pile of gunpowder now. Can we shoot it?
Not, Captain.
Yes! Yes! That's what I'm looking for. We like the big boom. Also, aw.
Yes, Captain.
Your story ends here.
Yes, in the mouths of a giant shark man.
Let's go.
There were many combatants in that fight. And there goes half of them. I don't know what they were thinking. That wasn't even that hard of a fight. Choice is a luxury we earn through peace. Struggle is our fundamental nature. Even when our war banners sit idle, mankind foments strife. Friends argue with fists. Lovers kindle jealousies. Merchants compete with lies. Wherever mankind goes, struggle follows. Magrin is goddess of fire and war, not bloodshed and conquest. Although many in Raid Ceres would tell it differently, how bitter they must be that Magrin's priests were able to destroy a god made manifest. How bitter indeed. We who worship Magrin are not addled barbarians or cloistered mystics. We are soldiers, armorers, watchmen, and bodyguards. Artisans of conflict and protectors of our families and flags. We do not salivate for battle. We view war as unwelcome, but struggle is our fundamental nature. We do not pray for strife. We pray for the wisdom to resolve it quickly. We do not wish for war, but when it inevitably must be fought, we find divine ecstasy in discipline, efficiency, and excellence. Magrin, guide us to the battle that is just and fair. Let us be your fire that burns away the profane, leaving only the righteous. If struggle is our fundamental nature, let victory be our inevitable state of grace. Mail armor. Ooh, boots of evasion. That's pretty nice. How about you have those? Oh, she's already got boots. What's she got? Plus 2 to stealth. I have a better person for those, actually. There you are.
Sure.
Elsa, what are you doing? You already have... Okay, I'm gonna go get Elsa's bowl. Elsa, come on. Alright. She is within eating distance. And has begun to eat. Now then. I do like Giant Shark Man. Giant Shark Man's a fun one. I also love that he can cast while in druid shape. Or shark form. I wish that he had at least one more shark form per combat. But that may just be me talking. Anyway. Let's go talk to Iveta. Yeah, Elsa, how you doing? That's why you went Fury Druid instead of animals. It's an elemental. Gives you a fuck ton of damage in melee, and if you're a monk, even more so. I'm turning him into an elemental lightning caster, which I'm hoping should be fun. Akema.
Well met, stranger. Akira, but isn't this district a fine place?
The Huana woman stares off into the distance with a longing expression. And this makes you sad?
I am not one meant to venture far from the gullet. Until recently, I had a respectable job at the Luminous Bathhouse.
Akira, a most respectable establishment, I say.
He sighs, closing his eyes.
Now that I am unemployed, I seek to make myself useful before the money runs out. And I must return to the Roparu as a pauper.
She frowns and turns her gaze back up to you. You worked at the Luminous Bathhouse?
A wonderful place. Would that I could cross its threshold again and feel the mist of luminous waters.
Her smile is sad, if genuine.
In spite of my time there, I cannot do else but give it my highest recommendation. You will find the luminous bathhouse in Periki's Overlook.
Tell me about Queensbirth.
The Queen granted this area of the city to the Valian outsiders. Here they organize their business and trade, digging up the archipelago with both hands and carrying riches overseas.
She glances towards the docks.
In her welcoming embrace, the Queen allowed a similar concession to the Royal Deadfire Company. You would do well to see as much of Neketaka while you are here, I am thinking.
Awfully kind of her to parcel out the city like that.
Takehu raises her finger to speak up, but slowly lowers it. How did you lose your job at the bathhouse?
More happens at the bathhouse than cleanliness and ease. It is a place of meetings, business, and transactions, to all of which the attendants are either blind or deaf. One day, I overheard, more than I ought to have. In my erring, I gasped. To my great shame, I showed a most unprofessional reaction before clients. I was fired, and rightly so.
What did you overhear in the bathhouse to cause such a scandal? Akema shakes her head and lowers it in the deepest shame. She's trembling, and it's clear that, in her estimate, she has suffered enough without debasing herself even further. Interesting. Maybe I can ask about that later.
Gon shepherds us all, traveler. Seek out his temple along the sacred stair.
Where is my Madiko? Where is that spoiled brat?
A woman in fine clothes clutches a ledger in both hands. She searches the faces of passers-by, settling on yours with an uncertain frown. Are you all right?
I'm trying to be the responsible one in the family, and it's a heavy burden. Laro is past due for a company meeting. Mother wants me to drag the elusive louse back by his ear.
She tucks the book under her arm.
Must be nice to be a layabout. Uncle Angbert would have tanned my hide.
Fuck. I am angry and jealous in equal measure. You'd think this district was a maze, the way he manages to hide.
She glances over your shoulder and sighs, then looks back at you with sudden recognition.
The spirit magnet? Sientere, that I did not recognize you. If you desire to get in the graces of the Valiant Trading Company, we can help each other.
How can I help?
Could I persuade you to watch out for Laro? I'd pay generously for your trouble.
Nera has been digging her nails into her ledgers, leaving crescent moon-shaped impressions on the bindings. She notices your interest and holds the book protectively close.
I'm concerned because Laro tends to feud with Orso, one of the local Valera rats.
I take it your mother is someone important?
It's Ali Bardato. The Valiant Trading Company leans on her to finance their mission. If only more of her offspring were as accomplished.
Nera raises her free hand and squeezes the bridge of her nose. You weren't exactly tearing the district apart looking for him.
Of course, see. I only manage the family business.
She takes up her ledger with both hands, holding it like a shield.
Better to ask why Laro isn't sprinting back to look after his birthright.
Kara, I can think of several reasons.
Kindly keep them to yourself.
What do you mean by Valera rat?
The Valeras. A brood of sea vermin playing at nobility.
She hefts her ledger as if to bring it down on a pest.
We squabble and compete, but Laro, the Pastenago, takes it too far.
Literally Valiant term. Oh, right. It's either idiot or carrot. Funny how literal translations happen like that. If I happen across Laro, I'll let you know.
Would you? I'll be waiting at the estate in case he happens to return.
Nera thumbs over her shoulder.
Laro and his miscreant friends carouse at the tavern, the falls above the Adra Mill, and the southwestern bridge. If you see him, tell Laro to get his good-for-nothing ass back home.
Well, we do have this thing with chasing a rogue god to the ends of Aora, but I guess if it's on the way.
Yup. If it's on the way. I mean, I don't think that we can fight Aethys. I want to find him just as much as everyone else, but I don't know. Oh, wait, ho.
Watcher. Tiverus. Is it really you?
Hey, I know those feathers. Pallegina.
You two know each other? I mean, I wouldn't be jealous if you did.
Jyoti's eyes flick back and forth between you and Pallegina. She bites at her bottom lip, but says no more. Pallegina's mouth hangs open in shock. Though her hair and feathers have the same immaculate groom as when you last saw her, her breastplate's 5 suns have been carefully scratched off. She looks down at the armor and back up to you with a pained glance.
I'm sure that even at Cadnoir, you must have heard what happened when I returned to the Republics.
I did. I'm sorry things didn't work out for you. She glances away and gives an appreciative nod. You can see the muscles in her jaw clenching as the seconds pass.
The Republic survived. That is the most important thing. And here the company's business seems to be getting on fine without my interference.
Pallegina's a true patriot. Are you working for the Vailian Trading Company now? A pathetic laugh escapes her lips. She turns her gaze down, shaking her head.
No. No company associated with the Dukes will employ me now. I get by working as a ship guard. At least I can be among my people, even if they look down on me.
I could use your help, Pallegina. I'm hunting down Aethys. Her eyebrows arch, the membranes of her eyes sliding out and back as the weight of your words hits her.
I suppose I should not be surprised, considering all we went through. But no, I will not be coming with you, Watcher. I would be lucky if I wound up dead.
Come on, things didn't turn out all that bad.
Ores, Watcher.
A mixture of sadness and anger flashes across her face. It is quickly replaced by her familiar, calm expression. She nods once, then turns to go.
Good riddance and safe travels to you.
Oh. I guess I can't really blame her.
Right.
Considering. She sacrificed everything, but she doesn't consider it worth it.
Yes, Captain. Speak your mind. What say?
Care for a fish or two, stranger? Today's catch. Ripped straight from the hands of the salty wench.
The fishmonger lets out an accomplished sigh.
You'll find no fresh...
I need to find some booze.
No problem.
That hurt a little bit, having Pallegina just wander off. She was one of my common party members. I didn't especially like her.
Something more.
But...
Island, take your time.
What the heck is this? Steeled in darkness. +2 to stealth, +1 to resolve. During nighttime, this aura grants all nearby allies, excluding Ware, a bonus to their stealth skill and resolve.
Yeah? Huh? Mm-hmm.
Vailian Trading Company. Yeah, we just kind of ignored most of this place.
If you feel like investing in protection, I'd be willing to trade iron for copper.
Your selection is fine, but I'm looking for even better equipment.
I assure you that everything I sell is well crafted. But I will admit I'm not quite the weaponsmith that Marehi is, nor do I possess Uto's expertise with firearms. Marihi, you can find in Pariki's Overlook, the district to the north. Udo has a shop in the Brass Citadel, in the eastern part of Neketaka.
Let's see what you've got.
Lots to see.
Oh. At least three legendaries. The Gate Crashers. These heavy gauntlets easily outweigh any similar pair of plated gauntlets. The scalloped knuckles are lined with lead, and the steel wrist guards are many times thicker than they ought to be for any practical purpose. Wearing them is like turning one's hands into bludgeons. Swinging them is a task unto itself, as stopping them in motion is nigh impossible. Hey, Zutara, I think I found gloves for your monk. You gave those to Eder. Horns of the Bleak Mother. No one knows for certain the true nature of the being known as the Bleak Mother. Some say she is the progenitor of 100 young, terrible creatures that stalk in wild places best left forgotten, preying on kith and beast. Others maintain her domain is that of thorns and tangled roots, and that her children ensnare and devour those who wander off the path. Real or imagined, the mother is only talked about in whispers by those who trek darkened woods and brave the untamed wilderness. The fellow who wore this horned helm, however, spoke in boast. He claimed to have met a dreadful mother and slain her. These horns, he said, were proof of his deed. A pair of hunters would later discover the helmet in the heart of the Blackwood, its owner nowhere to be seen. And then Heaven's Cacophony. This crested helmet pays tribute to the goddess Hylia, the Sky Mother. Its plumed coxcombs, made of feather taken from the willing avian godlike, made for daring display. The steel is etched with glyphs simultaneously representing lightning, the sky, birds, and swift travels. The druid becomes a conduit for the power of storm. Any target they strike with a weapon, or who strikes them with a weapon, is attacked with a bolt of lightning. That sounds freaking amazing for our godlike friend. Assuming he can wear hats. Some godlike can't. That is way too expensive for me, though. Also, while I'm thinking about it, pistol? There you go, Eder. You know, there you go.
Sure.
All right. I already like how much damage the bird ranger does. She is very good at DPS. With the combination of the bird and then massive spiky burst damage whenever she fires her gun. We gotta finish a couple quests. Peddler's Canal. This place is huge compared to some of the other maps.
Merla, how is every ship hunter taken?
No sooner do you approach the Valian woman when she squints and turns up her nose, regarding you with thinly veiled distaste.
I only deal with serious clients. Now shoo.
Excuse me?
Done. You are dismissed. Madiko. But it is impossible to find skilled work when every competent freelancer wastes their shore leave in the wild mare.
She grimaces towards the east.
When blood travels south of their brains, the value of a good bounty is forgotten.
You give up bounties. I could take some of your some off your hands.
You, a nameless face of the streets?
She thumbs her chin and gives you a thorough looking over.
I do not make a habit of shepherding new talent, but there is a seed of potential.
She sighs to herself and peers over your shoulder before giving up and addressing you directly.
We will cut your teeth on Biakara, a Huana sailor and would-be patriot who plagues company ships.
I'll take the bounty.
Gelarde. Biakara sails a voyager's scale of Tangaloa off of Hasongo's northeastern coast.
Alright. Hey, Degnos.
Ekosi, Tella, you have found the satchel.
You have some explaining to do.
It is not as you must think. Complanca, hear me out.
Your scheme is ended. Dalfar is dead. He pales, glancing left and right with alarm.
If you will not support me, I understand. Your contempt is justified.
He hangs his head and his shoulders sag, listless as a ship in irons.
But I beg you, please do not tell Aveta.
I won't report you to Aveta if you agree to end your scheming.
Nehala, yes, I will do as you ask, so long as you do not tell Aveta. My word is my bond.
Woo! Yay! The wild mare. Well, let's check the Luminous Adra mill. Man, I do love just how they do world building. They don't shove it down your throat. It's all as much as you want to engage with it. If you want to read every single book, you can read every single book, but they don't expect you to. You can probably get by with just doing the straight and narrow path as much as possible. Hello, Cortina. Cortina's voice finds you before she does, her barks of laughter and cheerful directives resounding throughout the mill. She flits from worker to worker, offering critique and approval. When she finally spots you, a shadow of apprehension passes over her face. She hides it with a toothy grin.
If you are here about the taxes, tell the Queen... Oh, you are not the tax collector.
It could be. She narrows her eyes, her hands twitching at the hilt of her blade.
What business brings you to my mill?
Who are you?
Okay.
Cortina leans in close, one prodigiously furry eyebrow raised.
You go around asking just anyone in Queensbirth personal questions. Maybe you end up dead in a ditch. Have caution, eh? Lucky for you, I am a woman of honor.
She gives you a sunny smile and claps her hands together.
I direct luminous milling for the Valian Trading Company. It's a nice job, huh? And I'm quite good at it. You want to know more? Buy me a drink first, per guano.
Per guano? That's a new one. For the good. Cortina claps you on the shoulder, a playful smile on her lips. I need refined luminous Adra.
I need a large country estate and several handsome women to fan me with palm fronds. It is good for the heart to dream impossible dreams, yes?
She gives you a quick nod, then laughs quietly to herself, her large ears twitching.
The Adra belongs to the Valian Trading Company, Aimika. Unless you plan to open a bathhouse to rival Ganor's in Periki's Overlook, we will take no orders from you.
Can't you make an exception?
I cannot.
What do you do here? Cortina looks about the room with exaggerated wonder, her green eyes wide. She laughs a little to herself and runs a finger across the arm of the chair beside her. She holds the finger up for your inspection. It's caked in shimmering blue dust.
We mill luminous, of course. Take big chunks, break into smaller chunks, crush into dust-sized chunks. Per complaincanet, it is really not so complicated.
She gives you a condescending little pat on the arm.
Good day.
Neat. Any chance that I can steal some? Okay, what quest are we focusing on? I just need to pick one. I'm not going to Hasango yet because we have so many side quests to do. Just look at this big old list of side quests. Just holy crap, my god. Delver's Row can be accessed via a secret alley. The alley is concealed behind the curtain in a merchant's stall in Narrows. In the Narrows, a complex underground street connected to Guller's western border. Okay, first, let's turn this in. We've got the gauntlet. We can turn it in. Gauntlet? Gloves. Gauntlet implies that it has armor on it. It is simple leather. Extremely well made leather, but leather.
When I was little, me and my brothers used to spend hours chasing each other through the Merkberry fields. Don't think a day went by I didn't have a skinned knee or a bleeding elbow.
Oh, we did that sometimes. Only my brother usually had a hand in the bleeding.
He older or younger than you? Either way, I bet he's just as strapping.
Older. Was older. Then Raid Sarah's invaded.
Oh, I mean, of course, that's gone, but I'm so sorry.
Alright, let's go. We're going to the Dark Cupboard. Hey, Facina.
You're back. Kue, any news?
Bertano couldn't pay his debt. The Royal Deadfire Company took him as an indentured servant.
Kue, this is a nightmare.
Facina covers her face and moans.
What of the gloves? What happened to them?
I have them right here. She accepts the gloves with a grateful sigh.
At least I know Arkemir won't feed me to the imps.
She folds the gloves with care and stows them away.
Take your discount as well. If the cupboard doesn't make its goals, so be it.
Show me what you've got. Oh, wow. Don't suppose I'll be able to get a good look at this, the lore behind this one. That's a lot of legends. Grants spell cache. Summons a random scroll into an empty quick slot at the start of combat. The scroll disappears when combat ends. The creator of this belt realized that organization is necessary for a healthy, fulfilled life. In an effort to organize her ever-growing supply of arcane scrolls, she needed a safe, secure place to keep them. Considering the sheer volume of scrolls in her admittedly hoard-like collection, this safe place needed to be essentially infinite in size, but small enough to be handy. A few experimental enchantments later, she created just that. One by one, over the course of many weeks, she tucked each and every scroll she owned into the folds and loops of her Spellkeeper belt. Unfortunately, the scrolls never seemed to come out of the belt in the same order she put them in. In her opinion, this seemed a small price to pay for the peace of mind afforded to a well-organized home. Pale light? Causes nearby allies to recover health over time. That's amazing. Lethandria was the elf consort of Edworth, a human lord of a prosperous Adiran barony. Her marriage with her own elf husband was a cold one and produced no children. It was in Lord Edward's trueborn son, Matthew, that she found solace. She loved the boy as a son and cared for him after the passing of his mother, Edward's true wife. Matthew desired nothing more than to join the ranks of the Knights of Edir, like his father, and trained as a squire from a young age. As he grew into a young man, he excelled in martial prowess and adherence virtue, eventually earning a command in the colony of Deerwood. The young captain became known for his bravery and even-handedness in his protection of the Empire's subjects. Esteemed with her surrogate son's accomplishments, Lethandria commissioned a shield worthy of his station, and Matthew wielded it with pride. When the Deerwood broke away from the Empire, however, Lethandria was horrified to learn Lord Edworth himself had been dispatched to put down the rebels along the border. It seemed her precious Matthew had taken up the cause of the Deerwoodans. After a long and bloody battle, Captain Matthew met his own father in single combat. Matthew's shield, shining in moonlight, held true, but it was to no avail. The aspiring knight was cut down. Interesting. It's a good shield. I see that they definitely... Huh. Sasha's Singing Scimitar. This weapon was once the property of Sasha Saruman, a chanter of great renown. Her noble deeds and many victories are stuff of legends. Long have the songs of her adventures filled noble halls and humble taverns alike, and though no song sung or poem penned was succeeded in truly describing Sasha's grace with a blade. Her scimitar, an antique blade of exquisite artistry, stirs the air when swung, humming with a particularly vibrant frequency. The sound is a complex, dissonant harmony, beautiful and jarring. It is both a tool of battle and an instrument of song. If the nicks along the silver-plated edge are any indication, the great chanter carried this scimitar for many years and crossed blade with many foes. Empowering an invocation returns 3 chanter phrases. Huh. The spine of the thicket green. This gnarled staff is heavier than it looks, owing to the entwined length of amber and adra running down its core. Story goes that this was originally the backbone of an ancient Adragan, who, upon noting the advance of outsiders into her forest, sacrificed herself to preserve its health. Many have claimed to possess shards of her petrified remains, and this is hardly the first spine to boast that distinction. Regardless of its origin, this length of wood possesses an uncanny echo of dormant power. Power level is a measure of overall power of your character. All active spells and abilities are modified by power level. Okay, so that's what power level meant. I was wondering about that. Where can I see power level, though? All right, I should probably actually change my phrases around. Because we've got a few. Okay. I don't know if Come Soft Winds of Death is actually useful.
Yeah?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to oblige.
Now then, next task. Delver's Row, all aboard. The southwestern bridge and behind the district's waterfall. Oh, geez. The gullet is strange. I like the idea behind it. It's a ghetto in the center of the city where the trash just goes downwards. So of course no one's going to want to live there.
Was taking Bataro not enough for you?
A woman thrashes a row of tunics and sarongs hanging from the rafter. I don't know what a sarong is. Her pointed teeth are gritted in frustration, her lips set in a snarl. The clothes are spotless, yet she swings a handful of reeds again and again, grunting with each blow. Several children huddle together, whispering and looking on with red, tearful eyes.
Bataro is gone. Dead. What more do you want?
Am I interrupting something? She looks at you for the first time. A fraction of her anger burns off.
Forgive me. I thought you were with the guards who took him. Other casts never visit here.
She looks pointedly at Takehu.
Do the gods pay a visit to mock my misfortune? Or is Sacred Stair overcrowded?
Ah, forgive the intrusion. We were just leaving. That is, giving you space to grieve.
So many crowd into the gullet and you worry about space.
She laughs bitterly.
My village was not like this. Why does Queen Onikaza not send the foreigners away?
How did you know the man who was lowered into the old city? One of the children started to say something, but Biha shoots him a sharp glare. She turns back to you, arms crossed, gripping the reed bundle tightly.
Bataro is punished already, I say. Whatever offense he gave, do not hang it on our necks.
He was trying to tell you something.
More words. They did not save him, and we cannot eat them. I say, what good are they then?
She turns away from you, striking the sarong harder and harder. Takehu flinches at each blow, fascinated even as he shrinks back in discomfort.
The traders say they bring riches in their big ships.
The fabric pops and snaps beneath her fury. Sweat is flying, spattering the clean sarong.
But what reaches the gullet? Only crime and sickness, I say.
She pauses to take another couple of swings at the sarong.
The Rowathians promise marvels, strong walls, and plenty for all.
She moves on to the next tunic, thrashing it with even greater fury.
Akira, still my back aches from building their fort, and still I live here. And Bataro said we would finally leave.
She breaks off, her shoulders heaving as she catches her breath. I'm so sorry.
It is only another word.
She shrugs, still catching her breath.
Outsiders cover our islands with walls and gates. Many Huana come to Neketaka, but even here, the outsiders crowd us. In the villages, the chieftains know even the Roparu. Here, even neighbors are strangers. That is Deadfire now.
She shakes her head angrily.
I only want to be free of this place. That is how the trouble started. I heard a Rowathian captain took up at the tavern. Suduzo, they call her. They say she is a traitor, so I thought maybe she will take passengers.
Strange. They usually stay topside.
Bataro went and found her in the tavern.
Her eyes go hard and dark.
Next I see him, the guards are dragging him to the cage.
She bares her teeth at the memory. Maybe I can talk to Suduzo? She looks at you with the same critical eye she's been giving her laundry, wringing and tugging the reeds.
They say many Rowathian captains are women. Maybe her ears will open better to you.
She looks around, taking in the hanging clothes, the huddled children, and the warped and splintered walls of the shack around them.
Bataro took some coin. Everything he scraped together working on the docks. And he went to bargain with the captain. I would offer it to you, but it is probably in the old city with Bataro. Or in someone else's pocket.
I could look for Bataro.
I could never ask someone to go down to the old city, but since you offer...
She trails off, working the reeds between her hands while hope and dread battles in her eyes.
It is a big and dangerous place. But perhaps he hid himself. Perhaps...
She steadies herself with a shake of her head.
Please, help him if you can. Or bring me news if you cannot.
Tell me about the Rowathian captain.
Suduzo.
Biha is holding the reeds so tightly that she snaps one in two.
They say she is a traitor, so I thought maybe she will take passengers. But she threw Bataro out.
She looks down at the broken reed in her hand.
Always Bataro was careful with his words, especially as a Roparu. But a Roparu in Neketaka gives offense just by breathing the air of his betters.
How many of you need passage to Rawatai?
We are 6. 3 children, 2 babes, and me.
Are they all yours?
Such a strange question. A Roparu child is the child of all Roparu. At least that is the way in the village where Bataro and me came from. But here, we are all strangers. No one looks in on the sick or cares for the children.
Tell me about the stash of coin Bataro had. Worry creases her face. She sizes you up with a quick look.
I tell you, I do not know where it is, and I am sure it would be little to someone like you. After what happened, Bataro would sooner have thrown it into the waters than given it to the Mataru or the Rowathians. If it is anywhere, it is surely with his body.
Can you take a different ship? She shakes her head.
Many ships leave from Queen's Birth, but the Valians take slaves.
She lowers her voice and glances furtively around.
They say the Principe smuggle goods in the caverns below, but I cannot trust such people. But the Rowathians have mighty cannons, and a big homeland they abandoned for ours. Perhaps there is more room for us there.
Well, we can check the old city. Whoops. Last time we visited the old city, though, it was a little over-leveled for us.
Need something? The hole's been... What's the neighborhood without a place to get... Course.
Hey, Seduzo.
What is your business with me?
Did you cross paths with a man named Bataro?
The one who threatened me. I shall not soon forget him.
She raises her cup for another sip, scowling into the liquor.
These Huana learn too many pretty words from the Valians. You cannot trust what they say.
We had pretty words before the first ship landed on Rauatai.
Takehu purses his lips Takehu purses his lips and balls his hands at his side.
Yes, but did you speak them with such deceitful intent?
Flustered, she turns away from Takehu. What exactly happened?
This fellow wanted passage on my ship, as if I were the village ferryman.
She tosses back the rest of her drinks a little too quickly.
I told him there was none to be had. Certainly not at his price.
How heartless.
Better heartless than brainless. I've heard stories of merchants tricked into inviting pirates onto their ships.
She refills her cup and sets down the bottle too hard.
He told me he had coin. Lots of it. I did not believe him. How could a man who lives in a garbage heap have enough money for passage?
She shakes her head.
Then he shows me a swollenet.
A swollenet?
A marked coin. A token of allegiance. The Principi carry them. I knew then that I was dealing with a pirate. I had heard they were influential in the Gullet, but I did not realize how much so.
She scowls and shudders.
I called for the guards, and they dragged him away. That is the last I saw of him.
Biha and the children still need passage out of the city.
There's nothing I can do. The passenger quarters have been reserved by a dwarf named Orin.
She picks a stray thread from her smooth, crisp jacket.
Why do you bring this to me?
Seduzo and Nui, they have little here. Think of how they could benefit from Rauataian culture.
That must be the first time I've ever heard civil speech in the Gullet.
She nods at your use of these respectful suffix.
Very well. I could take 3 more in the hold, and no more. Orin and his crew have reserved the berths.
The children are small, surely you can take more.
I will already have to abandon crates of cargo to make room for these 3, plus the food and water they require. Send them to me. The sooner we leave, the better.
She shifts in her chair, looking around the tavern as if she expects someone to jump out at her. I want to find enough room for Biha and all the children.
And I told you there is none. The 3 I agreed to take will barely fit in the hold as it is.
All right. Orin. Maybe we can look around for him. Somewhere on the upper floor.
Will do.
Hey, that's some experimentation right there. There you are. A dwarf sits before a generous and curious spread. A dwarf sits before a generous and curious spread. Steamed mussels arranged in concentric circles. Rounds of flatbread stacked in a neat tower, and melons sliced in even triangles. Yet his attention is focused on the 4 cups on the bottle in front of him. He had the cups organized in an almost perfect square around the bottle, but as you look, he leans down to adjust one. The others with him wait quietly and observe the ritual. What are you doing? The dwarf ignores you and continues nudging the cup.
He does this every time. Just have to wait.
Holding his breath, he takes the bottle and measures an equal serving of wine into the cups, making 3 or 4 passes over each. His companions look on with practiced patience.
Don't see why you'd spend all that time arranging your food if you aren't making it look like a funny face.
At last, the bottle is empty, and he places it in the exact center of the square. He picks it up and puts it down in the same spot twice more before he's satisfied.
Cheers.
They all take their cups and drink deeply. At last, the leader turns to you.
What do you require?
I hear you bought passage on Captain Seduzo's ship?
Indeed. The good captain has 4 adequate berths, all equally sized, all facing the same direction, and she's promised to leave promptly. A most agreeable arrangement.
What brought you to the Deadfire?
We had a contract with the Valian Trading Company to defend one of their most valuable properties.
He glows with pride.
If you're looking for work, I hardly recommend them. They pay well, and they pay on time.
Dude definitely has OCD. Yeah, it's a unique kind. I kind of wish that I could see what he was doing more. Description doesn't do this justice. What would it take for you to cede your spots on Seduzo's ship?
Out of the question. We're due in Takoa for another contract, and the client has already paid the advance.
He sips from his cup and immediately runs a folded handkerchief around the rim.
And we have already paid Seduzo. I couldn't possibly take back the same coins I have already spent.
I'm booking passage for a family, but Seduzo only has room for 3 of them, and they'll be split. His hand jerks so violently that he splashes a few drops of wine on the table. He mops them up, a rigid and pained expression on his face.
That will not do. That will not do at all.
He's still dabbing at the spilled wine, but something brittle has crept into his frown. His companions shuffle nervously. At last, Oron pushes back from the table and looks up at them.
To Queen's Berth, quickly. We must find a more suitable ship.
So we tell him that they'll be split, and he's just like, no! Hell no! That was fascinating.
Oh, worry not. I am good with my hands.
Are you as good with your words as you are with your hands? Alright. That's one problem solved.
What is your business with me?
Oron won't be traveling with you anymore. She eyes you suspiciously. The soldier with her shrugs.
That is convenient for you. But never mind. If there's trouble, I'm staying out of it. The berths are paid for. You can send your friends as long as you promise not to make trouble for me.
She glances from side to side, checking to make sure no one is listening.
Just do it soon. I don't want any mess you've made to spill onto my decks.
She looks at her crew and makes a twirling motion with her finger. What's your business in Neketaka?
Nearly done, I hope. I sold a consignment of iron and cultural coral, and will return to Rauatai with Vorals, Merkberries, and Ondra stars.
She shifts in her chair, tugging at her conspicuously clean and bright clothes. Odd that you're taking your business to the slums, unless you're trading illegally. She sets her glass down with a loud clatter.
The Royal Deadfire Company would frown on business in this district. But there's no harm if they don't know.
I just remembered I need to write up a report for my boss. Don't mind me.
Maya unrolls a scroll of parchment and starts transcribing Seduzo's statement. She pales, raising a hand to her mouth at the speed of Maya's scribbling intensifies.
What is your business with me?
Alright. Well, one problem solved, but there's still one last part of this that we haven't seen. We haven't found the corpse. We can fix that, however. No, get big ship. All right. We've definitely gone up a couple power levels since we came down here last, but it's still dangerous. Skuldrek Nest, the old city ruins over here. What is that? What is that?
Right between the eyes.
Well, it exploded is what it did.
Hitting the water. Enemies ahead.
You have my attention.
Shark! Hold up, how does Taste for the Hunt work? Caster's melee weapon becomes an ideal instrument for hunting, adding continuous raw damage in a single enhanced attack, and restoring health to the caster. This thing has very high armor. Shadows, phantoms. That Wraith is higher level than we are. Barb.
Yeah?
Can't pass a turn anymore. How about we do this? Oh, I thought that that would hurt the undead. These don't take much damage. Veil touched. What does veil touched mean? Oh, what? Why is Eder all the way over there?
You were saying?
Did it just teleport him? Well, I mean, if there's anyone that could survive being teleported, it's gonna be Eder. So, I'm not worried about it.
I've got this, Captain.
What is the Curse of Nightmares? What does it do?
You need something.
Eat that ghost.
Sure.
Okay, that one's dead. Burb. Burb is probably fine. Okay.
Your orders?
Go ahead and hit that shadow.
Yeah.
Jesus. Eder's actually taking a lot of damage from that Wraith.
have my attention.
Your bones will feed the land.
And now the next one is marked.
Huh? Let's go.
Speak freely. For the homeland.
All right, all ghosts over there done. Head over and help Adair.
What do you need?
This thing isn't doing the job.
Well, yeah, it's a ghost. What did you expect? For it to magically not be immune to bullets? I'd be more surprised if it was.
What can I do you for?
Yeah?
Although, Adair is actually taking quite a lot of damage. Like, more than I was expecting.
What do you need?
This thing isn't doing the job.
But it is eventually doing the job.
Happy to oblige.
You need something.
Huh?
Cool. That gives Eder a little bit of time to regenerate.
Yeah?
May I be a candle in the night.
What can I do you for?
How many of these do you have? According to this, you have one. So we need to get a little bit more damage on it.
Yeah?
Captain?
Yeah?
That should be enough. It's now bloodied.
Stay behind me.
You need something.
Huh? Take him down.
Happy to oblige. Love will be our sake.
Go. Dead ghost.
What can I do you for? Uh-huh.
What is the Curse of Nightmares? Scale armor, something over here. Scroll of Sunbeam. Hey!
Wait! I'm not looking for trouble. Not more, I mean. And I've not got a weapon on you. See?
He raises his hand to show his sword is sheathed.
It's just, you're the first body I've bumped into in days that's actually breathing. I mean, could it be you're delving for forgotten treasures? Same as me? I followed you. Just a ways. Hoped you were trudging toward an egress. Then the undead spewed up and I thought you would die. Yet you cracked them like they were nothing.
His boots are slicked with grime. His clothes are filthy and rumpled from several days' wear, and his neck and hands are smeared in places with mud. A pack rests on his heels, empty enough to have flopped into itself. It likely carries no more than his dwindling supplies. No offense, but you're not looking or smelling so good. He licks his cracked lips, flashing crooked front teeth.
I'm loath to admit it, but look, I'm too desperate not to. I've found not a single trinket and no end to this pit since I first crawled down. I thought to follow the rivers out, but the caves are crawling with grubs.
I wiped out most of the grubs from the western caverns.
Yes, right. It's safe to make for the rivers then. Or as safe as it's likely to get. I'll head downward now.
With the winds, he hefts his pack from the ground.
Mayhaps we'll meet again in the darkness?
He tosses you a concerned glance over his shoulder.
Take heed if you've plans to trudge deeper north. I only glimpsed it once, but whatever nightmare lurks near the falls of the pit, it's incredibly massive, and surely just as mean.
Then he's gone, easing cautiously into the darkness. I should have asked him about our friend.
A reflexes and charm should do the job.
What do you need?
Oh man, we're gonna have to come back here
Should do the job.
with Seraphim. Hopefully Seraphim can open all of these.
What do you need? Yeah? Well, don't see why not.
Obsidian flakes. Huh.
What do you... Of course. Yeah? What do you need?
I've got it.
There we go. Can I not? I'm trying to loot this.
Nope.
Hmm? Uh-huh.
Huh?
Can I not loot this? There we go. That's probably the smarter move right now, Zutara. Alright. You have a good night. It is... Actually, you know what? I might stop here too, so this is a good place to stop. Next time, we'll find this old man. Or his corpse, whichever happens to be, you know, the case. Oh man. Because it is almost 10 o'clock. So thank you to my Patreon supporters, 10ace Games, Zebgrin, Slime Hunter, Walks with Gorillas, my dad, Kremlin Kev, Desalona, Miss Mango Plays, NBFF, Alpha Mango, and Kawok for continuing to support the stream. I'm going to see you guys all later, and until next time, I hope you all have a safe trip through the Dark Forest. Let's find someone to raid real quick. Make sure that I actually have a accurate list to be working with. Gonna go ahead and raid Roseguard. Probably won't stick around for this raid. I'll say hi, but yeah. Until next time, I hope you all have a safe trip through the Dark Forest. If you aren't already following, do consider hitting that follow button. We are, of course, going to be streaming this and Subnautica until we complete one of them. Odds are likely we might actually complete Subnautica in the next few days. Don't know. Anyway, good night, everyone.